Not every book can be a winner, and out of the 134 books I read this year, I did pretty good because only 7 are making it onto my worst books of the year. In 2025, I did become a DNFer. I really decided to practice what I preach because I'm always telling people to DNF books, and I decided to start DNFing books. I DNF'd a lot of books that just felt mid to me. I DNF'd a lot of books that were hyped that I didn't like, and I felt bad that someone actually recommended me this book, but I prioritized my reading. Reading is subjective, and it showed this year. I had more best books than I've ever had, and I've had a lot less worst books than I've ever had. But for my worst books of the year, these are the ones I finished that I really shouldn't have finished. I only actually had 1 star in 2025, and that was You Better Watch Out. This one kind of sucked because it was from an author that I'd previously given 5 stars. This was just like a fun little Christmas novella slasher. We're following our main character who like wakes up and she's in this strange city and things are trying to kill her. I feel like I guess the plot twist really quickly early on, specifically because I read the synopsis, and I really wish I hadn't read the synopsis. I feel like it gave the twist away for me. I am someone who likes to try and figure twists out, which means that's partially a me problem because I was like, what is the twist? But my preferred kind of story has me thinking about what the twist is, and I'm gonna figure it out either close to the end or I'm not gonna figure it out, but it's not going to be such an obvious thing for me, and I just didn't love this one. This is very much like fun kills. There's a lot of different ways that people die and stuff in this one that were really interesting and quirky and new for like a slasher book, especially with that like Christmas spin because there's other people here too and it's Christmas Day. But at the end of the day, this one just didn't work for me, and this could be a really short video because I don't have a lot to say about these. Moving on to my 2 stars, these are in no particular order. They're just actually in order that I read them. So Dawn of Flames was my first 2 star of the year. This is the final book in a series that I did actually enjoy the first 2 books quite a bit. This is just like a fun time read, no brain story for me. This was a Why Choose following some dragon shifters. I really enjoyed 1 and 2. I thought they were fun, but I just feel like 3 didn't wrap up in any way that really made the series worth reading. And so I felt like this final book was such a letdown, but I do remember having a lot of fun with the characters, which is why this wasn't a 1 star for me. I just was really like let down by like the plot threads and the whole like scope of the story. I just felt like it went too fast. It was a little too rushed and things just didn't tie up for me, and I don't know what to say. Like I liked this one. I didn't love it. It was disappointing, maybe is the best way to say. It was like really disappointing because I did enjoy book 1 and 2. They were both 3 stars for me. Ooh, I do have things to say about this one. Rhapsodic was the next 2 star of the year. Let me get some tea. It's actually coffee. Okay, well, this one follows the bargainer. And so we follow our main character who is making deals with the bargainer, and everyone knows that the bargainer comes to collect and it's never worth the price. And normally the bargainer doesn't do a lot of deals with the same person until they've collected, but this girl has hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of deals with the bargainer. Very early on, you see these 2 meet, and she is a minor and they don't get together. It's very clear that he's not romantically interested in her at all at that point. And then she grows up. Something I've learned really quickly for me is any sense of like seeing each other as a minor before in like a past timeline and then we get the present day timeline doesn't tend to work for me. There was a lot of back and forth too in this. There were 2 timelines going on. There was one of her at college and then one future day, and I just found myself not caring about that college version. And I don't know, like I think a past and present timeline in a romance book doesn't typically work for me. There's always one timeline that I want to get back to. There's always one that I don't really enjoy. And then I just really felt like I had the ick from the bargainer really early on. I think because of that college timeline, he's still like, you're too young for me, I'm not interested in you. But then they're like flirting still. And so it kind of felt like he was in a position of power over her, specifically with like the bargains and stuff that I just like didn't enjoy reading about. And that's definitely a me thing because the series is so loved. Like everyone screams about this series, but it just really, really failed for me. It was a flop. I think it's about the minor part and like the past timeline, and I just felt icky the entire time. So definitely not a book for me, but maybe a book for someone else. Next up we have The Lamb, which I read because Sarah made me read it, but she hadn't read it thankfully, so I didn't feel bad. It wasn't like a recommendation, it was just like a TBR pick. This is a cannibal book, also a short little novella, and we are watching this little girl's life. Like it's told from the story of a daughter, and the daughter and the mother are cannibals. And this had so much potential to be creepy and disturbing, but instead it just felt like we were in this little girl's head as she didn't even realize what was going on was creepy and disturbing, and like in a way that could have made it even creepier, but it failed on that for me. And I can't exactly pinpoint why, because in my head, watching someone just eat humans and thinking it's normal feels disturbing in just like a basic premise, but something about it made it feel really normal, which maybe that's the disturbing part of the book. But I feel like she was more spiraling about her own issues. We weren't really talking about the cannibalism and stuff that happens. The plot of the story is essentially that someone else comes into their life and is kind of taking her mother's love away from her, and then she's kind of just spirals. She doesn't do anything though. I feel like she's just existing in the story and the story happens around her. She is not a character in the story almost. Like she just exists and whatever happens, happens. And there were some things that could have been more interesting than others. Honestly, I think it could have been longer. I do think that I don't like novellas as much as I want to. I think that I always want more from them. I feel like they didn't grasp specific things because they just weren't long enough. But there are some novellas that I really do like. So like that's also unsure. I guess the things I do like are pretty short. Like they have to be like maybe like 50 to 100 pages is like my sweet spot. And then I want like a 300 plus book. Like I don't want anything under 250 after that, I think. So it's that like 100 to 250 page range that doesn't really work for me in a novella. I feel like because it's trying to do more than just like 100 pages, like you only have so much to do with that short amount of time that I can see other things slipping away. But when it starts to get bigger, they like start to talk about things that I'm like, oh, I wish we dived more into that. I don't even know how long The Lamb was, so it could have been less than 100 pages. But just me speculating, I always like to like audit myself when I talk about books. What are the things that I liked? What are the things I disliked? So that I can find connections, because I am a reader of patterns. Things I like, I tend to like in lots of books. Things I dislike, I tend to dislike in lots of books. So knowing that I don't really like novellas that are like 100 to 200 might help me in the future be able to pick up more things that I do like. I like more of a short story than a novella, I guess. What makes a novella? What makes it a short story? I don't know. Because off the top of my head, the ones I liked were, let me just grab them. Hold on. Okay, these are like my favorite novellas. This is Where We Talk Things Out, Blanky, and Jack and Jill. I'm gonna confuse people because they're gonna think these are worst books of the year, but these are like some of the best. And these are less than 100 pages. They're about 50 to 100. So I think that is my sweet spot. Versus like Rest Stop, I didn't love. How big is this one? Rest Stop is 124, so I don't know if that's 100% true. I don't know. I'm gonna have to think deeper into this. Maybe try some more novellas to figure this out. But yeah, I didn't love The Lamb. Next up, we have a romantasy called The Half King, which I read for my Fairy Loot Unsubscribe My Wallet episode. I got this in the Fairy Loot romantasy sub. I hadn't heard the best opinions about this, so I wasn't like super excited or like anticipating that much from it. I did like the concept. I think the worst part about this one was that I liked the first like 100 pages quite a bit as we discover the concept of this book and things like that, but then it really went downhill from there. This story says that all the firstborn children are cursed, and so anytime you have a child, they have some sort of curse on them, and our king has a shadow curse on him where he like disappears into the void at night. And our main character is a secondborn who is thinking that she can break the curse, and we kind of just like watch that unravel. I loved learning about all the curses that were on everyone, what they were. I love stories with different like magics to them, with different characters having different magic things, and the curses kind of felt like that, but the character work in this was abysmal. There was none. I feel like these were the most flat characters to ever exist. All of a sudden they're in love. All of a sudden they're trusting each other. I did like the twist in this. I will say there was a cool twist at the end with like who she is and stuff. And I do think about that. Like I can still prominently remember that twist. So that is like a benefit to it. I think I was just really disappointed in this one because it started off so strong and then just like lost me. I feel like the middle really lost me, because now that I'm thinking about it, I did like the twist at the end. So maybe like the first 50 and the last 50 were really strong, and the rest equal to 1 star. So it got a 2-star. I was sad because it was a really pretty edition though, and I didn't want to get rid of it, but I had to because we don't got time for 2-star books on our bookshelves these days. We want to showcase the things we love and are proud of. Our next book is Heartless by Elsie Silver. I think this might be the hottest take I've ever had. I don't don't like Elsie Silver. I said it. I'm sorry. I said it. I said it. Everyone can unsubscribe from me now. I wanted to. This was the third Elsie Silver I have tried and my least favorite, which is the hottest take because I think it was everybody else's absolute favorite. I do think it hits a little too close to home for me with Elsie Silver being from Alberta. She's writing, specifically in this one, Alberta men, and I don't want that in my life. I am from Alberta and I don't want what this is. I don't want this toxic masculinity. And maybe it was like romantic to a lot of people, but to me I was like, I know how the men in my town say that and it's gross. It's not hot. So it's like my own experiences, my own lived experiences affecting how I perceive things. But it was like a lot of Alberta like things. I could hear the Berta in the way they talked, in the things we were doing, in like all of that. Like I really could see that, and that makes sense. It's her lived experiences as well and she's writing it down, but it just did not hit for me because it's so anti what I want for myself and hit too close to home. Like, because I do like a possessive man fictionally, like I do in other places. So it was kind of like, I think a little bit that it was contemporary and then like hit close to home at the same time. It just felt too real for me. And I got the ick. I got the ick and I couldn't get unicked, and so it did not work for me. I did like the opening scene. I thought the opening scene was a lot of fun, but I just didn't like him. I couldn't get behind him, and I feel like that's the hottest take I've ever said. I feel like I should just shut up now and move on because she's so popular. I'm a Lila Sage stan, not an Elsie Silver stan, and that's okay. We all have different tastes. We all like different things. No one's trying to yuck on your yum here. If you like that, I love that for you. I truly do. I wish I was you because I wanted to be a stan. I wanted to be it. I wanted so bad to love this. That's why I tried 3. Okay, and then we have Riftborn. This might be another hot take. Oh my god. Hot take central over here. I don't know what my name should be. Hot take city? What's wrong with me? This one is a beloved TikTok sensation. I felt like this was the flattest thing I've ever read. Again, I'm not trying to yuck on your yum. If you loved this, please continue loving it. I wanted to be you, and I'm actually going to try the new book in this world by this author because I'm still intrigued, which is called The Ascended. I definitely have plans to try that one. But for me, I just felt like this was so basic fantasy romance. There was not a lot new to it. And I just could not, for the life of me, get invested into the romance. And it's supposed to be a fantasy romance. And I was like, these people have no chemistry. I truly thought I was reading a different book than other people. And there's a reason that you don't like buy into the romance. And I think some people liked that aspect of it. For me, it just frustrated me because I want, when that thing is done, for it to be done really well and for me to be like devastated by what is done. I'm trying to be so spoiler free here. Like, I still need to care. Like, I need to care about relationships and characters, even if you're going for like a twisty twist. At some point, I need to be engaged. I need to feel devastated when that twist happens, and I just didn't get that with this. I remember being really confused about the magic system and having to like text my friends that had read this to clarify things because I was confused about like why being Riftborn was bad if like everyone had magic. Like, I thought it was like typical, like if you have magic, that's wrong. But no, everyone in this world has magic. She's just from a different continent, and so she's bad. And I was just like confused about why they wouldn't train her then and things like that. There was just some stuff that felt really murky to me that I really just like had a trouble letting go of because I wasn't enjoying the characters. I do find that when I'm vibing with characters, I don't nitpick as much. I can let things go. I can enjoy other things. And when I'm not vibing with characters, I'm really looking to the world building and the plot to keep me like grounded in the story. And so I start to like nitpick at that if it isn't working. But like when characters are my first like grounding. So like if I vibe with them, I don't need to look at the world building a little bit more. I love world building. It's one of the things I find most interesting about stories, but I definitely don't nitpick it as much if I'm loving characters because they're keeping me reading and flipping the pages a little bit more versus otherwise I'm like, oh, but what about this and this and this and this? It's hard to explain, but that is something I found myself doing really happened in this book. I did debate reading the second book in the series for a bit because everyone says the second book is better, but with how much I didn't like this book, book. Like this one could have been a 1-star probably. I don't think I'm gonna do that, but I am gonna continue In the World, and if I like Ascended, maybe I'll come back to the second book. But if they feel the same, then I'm just gonna bless and release, and that's 100% okay. Blessing and releasing has made a better year. That's why I'm only talking about 7 books, and that brings us also to the end of this video. I have no more books to talk about. Pretty freaking fire year in my opinion, because I only had 7 worst books, and most of them were 2 stars. Like normally I have 10 1-stars to talk about. So if you're not someone who DNFs, take this as a sign that maybe you should try DNFing. I mean, you don't have to if you don't want to, but like I found it very freeing and have definitely found better books this year because of it. So I'm just gonna put that out there. If you want to ride a roller coaster of emotions with me, I'll leave my best books of the year because we need an upper after this downer on the screen for you to check out. And maybe just a vlog that I created in 2025 that I was really proud of, in case you want to continue hanging out with me for a bit. Let me know down below what your worst book of the year was so that I can avoid it. And if you made it all the way to the end of this video and you'd like to leave me an emoji just to say you were here, leave me a thumbs down emoji. I'm toxic. And have yourselves an absolutely remarkable day.